Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thank you so much for dropping in. Good morning, Slick Rick. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here, one of our very best supporters. Well, Philippine Antics, Heidi and George, good morning. How are you guys? I hope you're doing well. I watched your recent live stream, and I'll catch up on your other one a little later. That's for sure. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a week. It has been a very busy week. What's kind of funny is, Bruce is here. Good morning, Bruce. Let me see how I can do this. There we go. Good morning, Scott. How are you? Thank you for dropping in. It has been a super busy week. We have had a lot going on. Arlen is slowly packing, getting ready for her trip to the province. It's fiesta time. And I say getting ready for her trip because I'm not going this year. I'm not going to the province for fiesta. I am opting out. Isn't that a better way of saying it? Let me see if this will pop up correctly. I want everybody to know, and no pressure whatsoever, please consider becoming a member of the channel. And I'll tell you why. Starting August the 6th, no, not August, September 6th, we're going to be doing members-only live streams to cover the topics that we don't feel comfortable covering out here in the general channel, where we find people are doing more responsible ideology, more responsible, not that agree or disagree, but just more responsible with respect to their comments and their arguments. So weekly videos that aren't going to be suitable for the general channel. And once again, let's see here. Hillbilly Pyro, good morning. Thanks for dropping in. Hello. You've been to one, you've been to them all. That is quite possible. You'll have to excuse me. I have a runny nose. I have a bit of a head cold, and it's draining down into my chest. It is what it is. Philly in the Philippines. Brian, looking for new vacation spot. Brian's been looking at real estate down in Surigao Island and looking at apartments, and it's been interesting to watch what he's going through. Give him a look. Paul Rogers, hello, Mike and Arlen. Me and the missus are looking forward to the show. Tally ho. How you doing, Paul? I hope you and the missus are doing well. Ricky Last, good to see you, Ricky. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. Scott and Isaiah's World, Slick Rick, saying hello. I hope things are going well for Scott and Isaiah right now. That's for sure. Either way, so what's been going on this week? Well, two different things. First off, you will probably see another live stream from us later this afternoon, doing some testing. And then you'll see another live stream tomorrow if today's testing goes well. What I've done is I have put together my mobile live stream setup. I've spent the past couple of weeks gently working on it, getting the stuff set up correctly, and it'll be a multi-camera, multi-view, mobile live stream. So we will get that going later on today. Let's see here. Ricky USA. Hey to everybody. Thank you for dropping in, Ricky. Bruce says, I think Philly is ready to move out of his island. I know Lot is. She says she regrets moving there. I didn't see her say that. You know what? It's whatever makes people happy. And if they're happy, more power to them. That's all that we care about. All is well. Scott does it. That is good. Scott wants a link to join the membership. The link is when you open up the channel, it'll say join, not subscribe, but join. And that'll take you to the membership page. Everyone, and let me just say this too. Slick Rick was having a problem. He was saying that the only options he comes up with are very expensive, and that's I went through our entire membership setup. It should be like $1.99 a month is what it comes out to, I think. So let me know if you have a problem. It should be like dirt cheap. It was as cheap as I could make it. I don't want to make money off of it. More importantly, what we're trying to do is to get people to recognize that they have a little skin in the game and they're responsible about the content that we're going to discuss in the membership side. Everyone be safe and have a good day. I'm going back to bed. Good night, Hillbilly Pirate. Pablo, ¿Cómo está, Pablo? How are you? Skip it all. Good morning, evening. Muy bien. Professor Ricky D, it's raining here in the U.S. Well, it looks like a beautiful day here today in Angeles City. We had a storm blow through yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday. Had some really interesting lightning strikes, like really right close to us. It's kind of loud. So I've got my notes here about different things. We want to discuss, the current events, what's going on in Pampanga, what's going on in Luzon, what's going on in the Philippines, how it might affect expats. I thought one of the interesting things that even though it doesn't affect expats, Senator Soto has proposed the 14th month pay bill. And for those of you that are unaware, if a employee is in a company and the company meets certain standards, or not standards, but meets certain bylines, I guess, all right, they in turn, let me see here what I've got going on. Somebody's sending me messages. They pay once a year what they call 13th month. So they give them 1 month's extra pay. Well, you know what? Now Soto wants them to get 2 months extra pay. I think it's probably just simply showing you they just don't pay enough. There's just not enough pay. The pay is just too low for Filipinos to make a living. So I thought that was interesting. Hey, Ricardo, Skip it all. Good morning, evening, Mike and all. Hey, Skip it all. Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate it. I'm going to skip the hellos. Professor Ricky says it is raining here in the U.S. Skip it all. No rain in South Texas. Hot as heck. Been trying to finish my deck, and when the sun starts hitting you in the late morning, it sucks. Yeah. You know what? The rainy season here has been long and kind of brutal this year. It's more rain than I remember. So what else do we have? 2 Japanese tourists. It didn't say tourists, but it said 2 Japanese were shot by tandem riders in Malate, and they are now unalive. I guess that's the worst that YouTube will allow me. So is that going to have the same impact that the issue with respect to with the Koreans? You know, the Koreans got shot and it happened and everything that goes along there. Certainly put a damper on it. BT and Betty building that house out in a riot. How you doing, BT? He's got a channel with great construction showing you how he's building his house. You could give it a try. Nurses there, Tropical Todd. How you doing, Todd? Nurses there, I was told, make like $600 a month. Easy 6 figures for the same work in the States as an RN. Yeah. I mean, they're vastly underpaid. Vastly. What should a living wage be there? God. You know, Sam, and first off, thank you for joining and thanks for the comment. I don't know what a living wage should be. I would venture to say that a living wage should be somewhere around, I would think, around 25 to 30,000 a month pesos. That's my opinion, but people live on far, far less. All right. If you think about it, depending on where you are in the Philippines, the minimum wage goes from $350 to $650, 350 pesos to 650 pesos per day. And those are generally like 12-hour days. So if you multiply that by the number of days, that gives you an idea of what they're getting paid. Skip it all. No rain in North Texas either. Temp in DFW is in the mid-90s. Wow. Getting warm there, that's for sure. Low pay. Professor Ricky D. Low pay is probably why the girls turn to the bars. Sure. They've got to make a living. And in not just making a living, but they've got families to support, parents to support, siblings to support. It's just hard to do it on the minimum wage. Slick Rick, Mike, I just tried to find the membership. Honestly, I can't find what you were saying about $1.99. The same time I'm on my iPhone. Would that make a difference? Rick, I don't know if it would make a difference because I can't access it the way you access it because, you know, I'm the channel owner. But with that being said, I'm going to continue to look into that, Rick. And I've got your email. I will get back with you. BT and Betty said traffic enforcers only make $5,000 a week. Yeah, and that's 20,000. And that is, as far as I'm concerned, 20,000 is a month is like borderline livable wage. Skip it all. What does it cost to go to college there? Who pays for it? Do they do loans? with such small wages for graduates, is it really worth it? God, skip it all. You're giving me crazy, hard questions, deep questions. So college here goes all up and down the spectrum. It really and truly does. Who pays for it? Well, there are scholarships available at some places, but very limited. Generally, they pay out of pocket. And indeed, is it worth it? I don't know. Not when I'm seeing, I'm seeing nurses, RNs with 3 to 5 years experience. When I was in the hospital up at Clark, and they're making like $35,000 a month, and that's barely enough as far as I'm concerned to live on their own. I don't know how they live on that without roommates, to be honest with you. And then how do they support their families and stuff like that? Professor Ricky D, I will return September 1st. Good deal. Good deal. Are you going to be coming to Angeles or somewhere else? Wow, Van is here. We haven't seen Van in a long time. Van, mid-90s, North Texas, cool temperature in August. Yeah, it can get quite warm, that's for sure. Scott says, I can't find it either on my iPhone. You mean you can't find the membership joining, or you can't find the $1.99? Because I only have one membership level. That's it. It's $1.99 a month. But I'm going to have to keep digging to find out what the problem is with that. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Anytime, Slick Rick. Bruce, on my laptop, there's a join button right under the video now playing. Chrome on Windows. There you go. So Bruce sees where it is. Todd says, I tried and cannot sign up either on iPhone or iPad. Wow. I don't know what the deal is. Phil, there you go. Have a nice day. How you doing, Phil? I hope to see you tomorrow at breakfast. Hope you're doing well. Okay, Scott, it's good to know I'm not the only one. Yeah. Nursing, $60,000 a semester plus about $20K expenses a month. And that's in pesos, Van, I'm assuming. So, because I can tell you that where my daughter goes to college, she's in vet school, which is graduate school, and she is $60,000 a semester, dollars. No, that doesn't count her housing. That's just tuition. So maybe it's quite similar, but pesos, not dollars. BT, the knowledge is worth it if nothing else. Yeah, it is. BT can show you exactly why he's doing it. Pablo says membership. I know often the Chinese bully Philippine vessels last week. Yeah. It's like they were playing bumper cars or bumper boats with each other, and they ran into each other. And actually, one did quite a bit of damage. So yeah, it's getting out of hands in the West Philippine Sea without doubt. Mike, what is your favorite bar? Well, we don't have a favorite bar. We do have favorite managers, and often they get kind of moved around from time to time. But we don't bar hop every week. We don't go out every night. It's a social event for us, but we know that a lot of the managers for the Wolfpack group, so we tend to stay with those. The Lollipop, Shooters, Lucifer, Carousel. I'm not a fan of Avalon or Excess because I'm not a big fan of those shows that they put on. But that and Champagne is always nice. They have They have, they used to have really good music, but they've got a new manager there and the music has changed a bit. The join button for membership on an iPhone. The join button for membership on a... Skip It All says, I looked at it and it said $1.99 on a laptop. Thank you. Okay. That makes me feel better. All right. That makes me feel better. There you go. Have a nice day. Now, we will be streaming live from Tequila Reef tomorrow if everything with my experiment later this afternoon goes well. Sunset Travel. Good morning. So I take it you're back in the Philippines. Sunset dropped by. You've got to like Sunset's sense of humor. All right. He's not a huge YouTuber, but he has a great satirical, quite unique sense of humor. I kind of like it. I don't watch his videos for the information. I watch his videos for his smart ass attitude. It is neat. No join on my iPhone. Well, that's interesting. So everybody that's on an iPhone or a laptop, iPad, seems to not have it. That's interesting. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventure sounds like site settings. Yeah, it might be. I know that on my end, I don't have any choice of the settings. Pablo says I'm on an iPad too and cannot see a membership. Wow. It just pisses me off. Nothing I can do. Good morning. Keep up the good talk. Thank you very much. I must be totally frank. Thank you. And now another note. They just arrested a Korean. His name is Shin. All right. And they arrested him under, I saw this, Bureau of Immigration's got him in hold for Article 212. All right. Now, this guy, he was arrested in Clark, which is, a little bit more expensive area to live. And Article 212 is bribery. So a Korean getting arrested for bribery. Why does that not surprise me at all? Slick Rick received a gift membership by the Leah and Blair Slog. Wow. Oh, Leah and Blair. Now, this is funny. I can't see that Leah and Blair gifted memberships, but I am certainly seeing that they did. If you guys haven't been to Leah and Blair, they do some absolutely phenomenal work. They match up long lost Filipinos, dependents. I'm trying to find a reasonable way of saying it, but like Filipinos that they go through the gamut with DNA, research, everything else to hook up Filipinos that have become separated from their American expat parents at birth. I guess they were left behind by accident. You should give them an idea. LG says, so you're moving to membership only from... No, not at all. You know what? I'll give you an idea. Our live streams and our videos are going to stay just like they are. But in the membership section, I'm going to be bringing up stuff that doesn't work for the main channel, such as how do we fix immigration in the United States? All right. That's going to be a brutal, in the main channel, that would be a brutal video. That would be a brutal discussion because, you're going to get assholes and trolls that think you're taking a side. So it doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, whatever. All right. So I'm going to put that kind of stuff, all right, that has an idea in the membership section, because I feel like if you have paid a lousy $1.99, you'll be more mature and responsible about your responses. Oh, wow. All right. Now I got a message. The Leah and Blair Slaw gifted 10 hours. Wow. Thank you so much, Leah and Blair. And folks, you really need to check out their channel. They're doing some really, really incredible stuff. Jose Rodriguez received a gift membership. Richie Rich even. Okay, Richie, I got to tell you something. I saw a post that you and Calvin are doing a joint meet and greet. I think it is September 27th or 28th in Makati over at Power Plant. I think Power Plant is at Rockwell, if I'm not mistaken. But let me know. I might try and convince Arlen into doing a weekend down there, and we might drop in. Corey Neller received a gift membership. Wow. JJ got a membership. John got a membership. And by the way, thank you, JJ, for dropping in. Where are you nowadays? Last I remember, although I think you've done other videos, I think at one time, but last, maybe Vietnam. Corey, thank you for dropping in as well. Brewer Fam received a membership. Man, they are going hard and heavy. Scott Sparrow received a gift membership. Van, American Vet School, hard to get accepted. Yes, Van, it was. My daughter graduated from a let me see here. A university, a state school, all right, in California. So then she applied to, you know what, Van? Here, let me just try and put it to you like this. She applied to, it's right there in Sacramento, not Berkeley, but, which is in San Francisco, but I can't remember. Anyways, she should have gotten in. She graduated with a 3.97 GPA, all, in a hard science, okay? Of the applicants, only 11% of the applicants that were accepted to vet school there, all right, were Caucasian. The rest of them were all minorities. My daughter ended up applying to 9 vet schools in the U.S. And then, let's see, Leah and Blair just sent me a photo of how it looks. Okay. All right, I'll get to that. Anyways, she applied to 9. She only got accepted at 4. She applied to 2 vet schools overseas in the Virgin Isles, type stuff. She got accepted at both of those. But either way, she ended up going, unfortunately for me, she ended up going to a private school, a private college, which is like $60,000 a semester. No. Yeah, $60,000 a semester. It's crazy. It is crazy. Paul says, I'm watching your live stream on my 86-inch TV, but if I want to chat, I have to use my phone. Yeah. Blair, thanks for the membership. Yeah, thank you so much, Leah, and Blair, so much. BT, I'm about to take a break on the house simply because of the rain, but I'll send a video out when I make one next. It's roof time soon. Yeah. Thank you, Leah and Blair. Mike, I'm green now, just like your magic green cup. Hey, and there it is, my magic cup. I still have it. What's another tidbit of information? Bribe and the NCR. 30. Okay, so remember we said in the past, the Philippines has got to enforce its laws. And so they've started in the National Capital Region, which is, Manila, Makati, BGC, Quezon City. In the first 15 days of August for loitering, urinating in public, a whole host of other public type stuff. isn't that right? Yeah. 33.7 million pesos in fines. All right. Traffic fines, traffic enforcement, MMDA, the whole 9 yards. So maybe that's a good deal. Maybe the Philippines is starting to finally do something about it. Wow. 31 minutes, 59 in the room. Our little channel is doing great. Thank you. Dan P. Apple wants a piece of the action from membership, so you can't join from Apple products. You can join. I don't have any problem getting to it, Dan, from my iMac. So I don't know. But Dan may have a point, may be correct. They find deadbeat dads. I don't know that they're necessarily deadbeat dads. I think what Leah and Blair find are dads that really and truly didn't know they fathered a child. That's more of what they're doing. You should go to their channel and check them out, Bruce. They're really, really cool. Actually, I found memberships, but there's no way to join. What the frack is going on? I don't know, Pablo. I really don't. Sounds about right, Dan P. GD, good morning. How you doing? There you go. I can't receive membership gifts, shows, report, or block. It may be that the membership gifts have already all gotten them. Ricky says his Android phone says $1.99. Great. GD says their channel is good. Yeah. Leah and Blair are doing real, honest, thoughtful stuff. I guess that's the best way I could put it. James Gilbert, good morning, Mike and everyone. What happened to that birthday? Good morning, James. Thank you for joining. What happened to that birthday membership? What birthday membership? The one that you were going to buy on my birthday to help support my birthday? I don't know, Sunset. But the thing is you can't argue with Sunset because he's always correct. He's never wrong. You got to watch his channel. The irony sometimes is funny. Pablo says, oh yeah, I definitely want to be a member. Well, thank you. Lee and Blair, thanks for making me green. Oh yeah. UC Davis. Yeah, Brent, that was it. So my daughter should have gotten accepted. She had an undergraduate degree in animal genetics and animal science. All right. She went to a state school. She should have, with a 397, should have gotten into UC Davis. And yet, no. only 11, you go back, California state schools have to show the percentage of students, both cash and scholarship, in-state, out-of-state, and race accepted into every program that they have statewide. Nope, no such luck for my daughter whatsoever. Kind of sucked. Because UC Davis would actually have been a lot cheaper. And it is one of the top 3 vet schools in the nation. Would have been a lot better for dear old dad anyways. Pablo, how cool is that? It's like Ricardo, I guess. Guess what? Slick Rick. Interesting video. Thank you. I'm not sure it's an interesting live stream, but we'll find out. Okay, another little bit of tidbit of information. Cash remittances are up 3.7% last month. That's a lot. The Philippines thrives on cash remittances. That's how Filipinos build, how they buy, everything that does that. Congratulations on your daughter being accepted. My daughter's smart. She is smart. She's way smarter than me. That's for sure. And where does she get it from? Honestly, I don't know. Her mom is smart too. Ex-wife number 2 was a horrible wife, but she's a great mother and she is smart. So I guess, between me and her, we got enough for my daughter. We call her the Bean to get it all done. Richie Rich, hey, I just became a member on your channel, Mike. Thanks. That's awesome. That's great, Richie. All right. There are only 33 vet schools in the U.S. Yes. I thought the number was lower than that, but I know that there aren't that many. Nice to be. Thank you, Richie. Thank you for joining. Pablo, I know, right? It's good for a month. Then you have to continue the membership on your own after the... Yes. Yeah. But it's a good start. You get a chance to see if it's even worth your while. Because some of you won't like the membership channels. They really, you truly won't. Ruby, good morning, Ruby. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Good morning, Pablo. No loss for you. Skip, what is predominantly the fuel they use out there, power plants? If not nukes, do they ship in fuel? Yes. They have coal-fired plants. They have natural gas-fired plants. They have oil-fired plants. It is a mix and match of everything, and none of it is enough. That's just it. Use time someplace else. Just be chismis. Van. Slick Rick, good day to you. I'm fine. Saying hello. Son says is taking care of family after operation, bad arthritis, getting mobility and diet sorted out at the moment. Yeah. Are you still in Australia? I thought you were back from Australia now. Let us know. Sunset. Paul says, I never fathered a child, but I'd like to know what happened to an old girlfriend. Well, unless you've got, Leah and Blair might be able to track them down, but you're going to need, I don't know. I mean, Leah and Blair do this scientifically. They do DNA. They go interview. They get information. They do research. I mean, this is not a fly-by-night thing. They put in a crap load of effort. Sacramento State. Yeah, but Sacramento State does not have a vet school, though. That's not it. It wasn't Sacramento State. It was UC Davis. Lynn Lund. Hey, Mike. Been trying to show for breakfast last 2 weeks. Just keep getting pulled other directions. Tomorrow may be my treat. Hey, look, well, let me say this point blank. We don't like other people, buy us a cup of coffee if you want, all right? But paying for meals or anything like that, we don't want to be seen as e-beggars. That is not the way it is. We just don't want that stigma over us. Paul, if you find her, you may discover you fire the... Yeah, Pablo's got a solid point. You never know until you know. Brewer fam, thank you. Lee and Blair, I've seen good channel. Yeah, Van's seen them. And for those of you that don't know Van will tell you when something's a piece of shit. All right? I'm just being straight up and honest. He pretty much calls it the way he wants to call it. So, Paul says, no, I dated a girl that was referred to as a cherry girl. She was that way when I left Clark. We know several girls who have been cherry girls multiple times. So take it for what it's worth, Paul. Skip it all. My daughter went to school for art. Yeah, you heard me right. Art. Got an associate degree in art. Working at a rebar company as administrative assistant. Money was well spent. Well, you know what? I do understand where you're coming from there. I do. But her passion was art. And you never know. One day she may chase her passion. I don't know. But skip it all. If you're like me, your daughter can do no wrong. All right? I know mine. My daughter is a perfect angel. She is just perfect, period. So whatever direction she ends up going in the end, you can just do nothing more than support them. California seems to like celebrating diversity and inclusion. Yeah, I guess. Jim Schaefer. Washington State University has an excellent vet program. Yes, they do, Jim. Yes, they do. What you're going to find is most of, if not all, the vet schools in the continental United States have excellent reputations. And that's because it's very selective, very difficult to get in, and the course load is rigorous. And they just don't take shit. I mean, really and truly, the waiting list and the application list to get into a veterinary school is so long, they could care less if you fail and you're kicked out. They really don't. Ruby says, Philippine remittances are the lifeblood of the Philippine economy. They are a big part of it, for sure. They represent a huge part of the GDP. I don't know why my nose is itching. I don't need to blow it. I've got tissue in case I do. I have a little bit of a head cold. Mike K. Getting into vet school is harder than getting into medical school. I know of 2 vets that went to vet school in the Philippines. I don't know how hard it is to get into vet school in the Philippines. I don't know what their programs are like. I'll be honest with you. But I do know it is the rejection rate for veterinary school is something like 6 times higher than the rejection rate to medical school. So Richie Rich, hey Mike, thanks for helping us promote our meet and greet. You got to come out and join us. That would be epic. I'm going to talk to Arlen about it. I think we have something going on, but I will check it out, Richie. All right. And for those of you that don't know, there'll be a meet and greet down in Makati. I think it's September 27th or 28th. You can go to Richie Rich's YouTube, go to his community post. I'm sure he has something up. He's doing it in conjunction with Sunshine Shoulders. You can go to his YouTube page, channel, go to his community posts. It's in there for further information. Everyone is welcome to join us. We'll be very cool. Sunset says, supposed to be back last week. Long story. I'll bore you at a later date. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So, again, there'll be another live stream. I've got my mobile set up. I'm doing some fine tuning to later this afternoon to make it ready for our first live stream from Tequila Reef tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be doing another live stream, so that's going to be 3 in 2 days. We'll be doing another live stream, and it's going to be a multi-camera live stream. All right, you'll be able to see us, and you'll be able to see the road, I guess is the best way to put it. So that'll be tomorrow. By the time Sunset Travel makes it back to the Philippines, we should have it ironed out, and he can bring his satirical wit to it. Paul, if you still remember your old girlfriend's name and location where she comes from, then you'll have a chance of searching her on Facebook. Most Filipinos are into it. There you go. Philly, I don't think it's e-begging. I think it's a way for subscribers to thank a YouTuber for entertainment and provide it to... Yeah, I agree, Philly. I do. And I stayed away from it for the longest time of promoting it. I put in a members channel because YouTube said it was the thing to do. I never paid any attention to it. But at this point, I'm more interested in being able to post subjects that are far too controversial or heated than in the main channel. I'm not big into it. Mike, I think I participated in your first, a lot of new people. Oh yeah, Paul goes all the way back. Paul goes back to our first live stream. You were in there. UC Davis has one of the best vet schools in the nation, fairly close to my hometown in Berkeley. Excellent school. Yeah, my daughter wanted to go to UC Davis, and she wanted to go to, in fact, that's why my daughter went to a UC school. I would not have picked the college that she went to, but she wanted to go to a college that was a UC school that offered a degree in animal health sciences and genealogy, I think it is. So she's got genetics and genealogy, a double major, and she thought that would get her in, and it did not. It did not get her into UC Davis. Only 11% of the applicants that they accepted, both scholarship and non-scholarship, were Caucasian. The diversity issue is a big deal. My daughter's chasing a Scottish boy to Scotland. Plans on moving there next year. She's art, but I love her. Yeah, skip it all. I'm trying to say, because my daughter does watch these these videos once in a while. All I'm saying right now is I'm extremely proud of my daughter, but I'm adamantly opposed to her getting married prior to finishing school. And let's just leave it at that. Okay? Sup, Richie? How are you? Oh, slippery. Tropical Todd. I did Florida prepaid for my daughter, locked in tuition and boarding at 2:30. Yeah, you can do that. You can do it. I know somebody that did that with UVA. They when their daughter got accepted at UVA, and he prepaid all 4 years at that year's rate and it saved him about 10 grand. Van says they're all cherry girls. Isn't that the truth, though, Van? Mike, does that mean if you wash out becoming a vet, you can always fall back on treating humans? You know what? It's possible. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that there are any statistics or anything that say what's going to happen with vets that go to medical school. I got no idea. After finishing CRNA school, I thought about trying to get into med school. I was 30 and too old at the time. Yeah, you know what? The only people I've ever known that went to medical school after the age of 30 have been people who come from very rich families. And for them, it's not about the money. It's about a passion, and they're happy to wait, and they're happy to not make money. But, you know, Paul will tell you, I mean, Paul would have gone to 4 years of college, then he would 4 years of whatever, all right? He would have gotten his RN degree, and then after that, he would have to gone to the CRNA school. At that point, you can be pretty damn broke by the time you get through all of that. Rich abroad, okay, if I gate crash. You know what, Sunset? Let me know if you're back. Maybe if Arlen decides we go down, you can ride down with us. I know we'll probably stay at the Garden City Grand, Garden City Grand, where the Firefly restaurant is. That's probably, if the power plant mall they're talking about is the one that's at Rockwell, since it's an easy taxi drive. Ruby, I tried Facebook. Richie, Sunset Travel, as long as you come with positive vibes, come on. Always. My daughter should have said she was half Filipino. Yeah, she should have said she was half Filipino or half Korean or half Rwandan. Who knows? But no. Slick Rick, what's good, brother? Doing good after the weekend with subscribers and cool people. Good deal. Good deal, Richie. Richie, doing good, brother, while enjoying Mike's live. Sunset says, I'll find a short time stay. I would recommend, if it's at Rockwell, the two hotels I would recommend would be the City Grand, and across the street from that, the IM Hotel. Both of those have good parking. Both of them have good. The City Grand has it's more expensive. They have a much better breakfast, and they have the Firefly restaurant up on the top. It's really nice. So now, what's the other one? Well, now we've got this pastor that got arrested right here in the Angeles area. Actually, in Mexico, which is just a couple miles. It's a town a couple miles from Angeles. And he has been here in the Philippines since like 2004. He's married to a Filipina, has a church, and he was arrested for running an orphanage. Now, here's the problem. I don't want to start a bunch of bullshit chismes. All right? So I'm going to tell you what I can. All right? And that is, number one, he supposedly has, and there are photos of all of his registrations and everything else to run an orphanage. He's been getting a lot of support from well-respected people saying this can't possibly be right. On the other hand, you've got the Department of Social Welfare here saying there have been complaints that there's been abuse, there's been this, there's been that. There are two sides to every story. All I know is he's currently on immigration hold. He is currently on his way, theoretically, allegedly that he'll be going to Big Thuan to be held for till he goes to trial. If indeed he's guilty of these things, then he'll have to serve his time before he gets deported. I think there's a lot more to that story, and that's why I didn't do a whole lot about it. But I wanted to throw that information out there. All right, the things that are going on. Now, let me tell you about the railroad. They are going fast and furious, okay? You've seen it. There's all kinds of stuff about it. Well, let me tell you where they're at. Right now, if you see the rail system that they're putting in from the NCR all the way into northern Luzon, goes right through here. There'll be a stop about a mile up the road at the SM. The SM stop is essentially what it is. Okay. They're on raised pylons. So they have these gigantic, thick concrete pylons. All right. And they're probably 40 feet, maybe 50 feet above ground level. And they support these huge, thick concrete structures that the track or rail runs on. So these things are all above ground. And currently, they are digging the hole behind Candy Palace, all right, where we live, for a support. And it is directly behind us. And I will tell you, these guys are working 24 hours a day. They work all day, all night. And it seems like they have it down. I mean, we could almost set our watch 9:30 every night and sometimes early in the morning. In fact, I wonder, we might feel something here in just a little bit. It's a Monday, all right? This building vibrates. Now, it doesn't vibrate enough to where it's scary or anything like that to me. It doesn't vibrate enough to where the chandeliers rattle or anything like that. But it is a vibration, and it is, I can barely hear it in our unit, but it does happen. So I'll be interested to see, but these guys are going 24/7. It's interesting what they've got going on. That's for sure. Let's see here. We'll try and catch up on some of the. I love the City Grand and Power Plant Mall is the right place and close to the hotel. Yeah, isn't Power Plant Mall the mall that's under Rockwell Towers, if I'm not mistaken? There you go. Vet license is more difficult because you have to learn multiple internal animals. Yeah, you do. You do. And you specialize too. It's kind of funny. I'm talking to my daughter, she's first year, and she's like, yeah, it's cat, dog, cow, horse, sheep are the primary large animals that they learn. Now, there are specialties and everything, but yes, I think the rail system is a great idea. It's going to boost the economy. I think it will too. I think it'll help move. I mean, what I wonder is will it actually increase the cost of living here? Because now people will afford to easily, or should be able to afford to easily transit from SM Clark to mid-city Manila. We'll have to wait and see. Ruby says, I'm sure proper investigation will be done considering there are children and a foreigner involved. Until the completion of the investigation, everything will all be hearsay. He says, she says, won't do it. Yeah, Ruby, I agree. I will agree with that. Okay? Ruby says, constant vibration within close proximity to a structure will have a long-term effect on the structural integrity. Yeah, of course it will. I have lived next to high-speed rail before, and it's not. You don't feel anything 15 feet away the way these things are done. Now, that's if it's done correctly. What if it's not done? If it's not done correctly, then my condo is just going to crash on my head. So we'll see. Skip it all. Is there much of a rail system in the PI? I never thought of that. If so, how is traffic dealing with it? Guess all lights, traffic. Well, skip it all. There actually is a good bit of rail when you think about it. It's not as much as you would think, but it's more than what you would expect out of a developing nation. Everything with this rail system is above ground. It doesn't interfere with traffic or anything. So we'll see what happens. Richie, yes, that is correct. PowerPoint is part of Rockwell, great area, close to my condo, a little upscale and very safe too. Yeah. We used to love shopping at that Rustan's over at Power Plant. That railroad is also going south of the NCR. They're building through Laguna, just about all the tower. Yeah, they're going nonstop. I mean, they are literally working here 24/7. So I expect it's the same everywhere. Paul Henderson, vets seem to be very dedicated to their profession. They make good money, but not like a surgeon or many. Yeah, no, She's going to graduate with far more student debt than her salary will take care of. There you go. It will increase the cost of living as Subic will be increased because of the shipyard starts building ships. Yeah, it should. It certainly should. So yesterday, I told you it's been a busy day, but because I am lazy, and inherently I am, all right, I took a nap yesterday, as I generally take a nap most days, all right? So apparently during my nap, Arlene heard a commotion outside, and so she goes outside. So outside of our condo, we're looking down. Arlene looks down, all right? And outside the entrance to Candy Palace is, how will I put this? Arlene described him as a young American, which really means young Caucasian. And young to Arlene is anything under 50. Arguing with a Filipina, a young Filipina girl. And this was not just a verbal argument. She was fighting with him. She was scratching his neck. There was blood. He had blood running down his neck. The security guards had to end up breaking it up, separating them, and they called the police. So, it wasn't a Korean. Arlene said it was not an Asian, so could have been from anywhere, who knows. America, UK, EU, Australia, but Caucasian, and a young Filipina. So then they ended up having to call the police. Arlene says he was in his late 20s or at most early 30s. So now, are we sure it was a girl? Are we sure it was a girl? We will never know. I doubt we'll ever get the information. So, with all of that being said, what is it that bothers us the most right now? What bothers us the most right now is the potential disaster that's going forward with pension plans in the U.S. They are grossly underfunded, grossly mismanaged, greed and corruption. Now, keep in mind, you've got totally separate areas. I did a video on this. But what do you guys think? Do you guys have any thoughts on this? I'd be interested to hear about it. I really and truly would. Any thoughts, any ideas? And by the way, this is our regular live stream time. So this channel will live stream on Mondays, 8:30 a.m. Philippines, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. This is our normal time. We're back to it. We've got our schedule back in sync. So let us know. All right. So any questions, any thoughts, anything else you want to talk about? I'm open to any and all ideas. That's for sure. Don't forget, I will be having another live stream later this afternoon. If you're awake, please join it. It's just going to be a quick test. I need to test this new mobile setup. All right. It's a laptop, multiple cameras, multiple power sources. I need to give it a test before we do another live stream Tuesday morning. Van says, all right, I can't help but laugh at the latest food stamp videos. I haven't seen any food stamp videos, Sunset. Pension plans. Well, Epstein is gone, so get drunk Nancy to do the investing. Yeah, Bernie Madoff is gone. You might be able to get somebody else to do it. Hector, yes. Welcome, Hector. You must have joined us a little late. Yes, I did cover that. Oh, it was 2 Japanese nationals shot in Malate. A lot of theories going around by this. Yeah, there are a lot of theories going around on it. What they didn't say is, I haven't been able to find out, are they 13As? Are they tourists? What are they? So, Tropical Todd says, my pension is with the federal government. Yeah. And for those of you that are with the federal government, you're probably absolutely fine. Because the feds, they'll just steal it from somewhere else or they'll print more money. Yeah, Sunset, if you can make them, feed them. Yeah, that's the truth. It is. But yeah, I think we'll see within the next couple of years changes to Social Security. I don't think they'll change anybody's individual, but we'll see. Michael says, most defined retirements are set for life with no COLA increases. Some plans are exempt from Social Security. Yeah, they are. They are. Some of the plans are. Defined benefit plans. So that there are defined benefit plans and then there are defined contribution plans. And we're seeing a drastic, we have seen in the past 10 years even, a drastic reduction of defined benefit plans. Almost all companies now have moved to defined contribution plans, which is, for better terms, most often something like a 401k. Trump changed the calculation of COLA. Okay, I wasn't aware of that, Van. It's interesting. Todd says, my pension built in cost of living and I can keep my federal health insurance, but that all can change by Congress. Yeah, but you know what, Todd? It's going to be difficult for Congress to go after anything federal, I hope. But still, Van says you're still losing buying power every year. Yeah, we all are. If we're not making money, all right, then we're losing money. It's just that simple. Mike, what, if any, is your solution for arthritis pain? Just got over the flu here, and man, going some pain in my hands and feet, bathing in icy hot as we speak. You know, Paul, there are some therapies out there, depending on where the joint is, which joint it is. There's some promising stem cell stuff for arthritis. I don't know how applicable it is. It's something that I don't suffer from. My mom was on gold shots for years for arthritis, which were, I argued then that they were worthless, and I still mention, but I do know that they're still out there. So I wouldn't suggest it. Todd says, I am grandfathered in a corporate defined benefit plan as well as a hybrid lump sum plan and with Social Security along with a 401k. Right. So if you're grandfathered in a corporate defined benefit plan, Todd, like me, actually I'm not. My plan was radically different, but as long as the corporation and the management are intact, you're good. But those things can be changed. You know, if the corporation or the plan goes bankrupt, they're not insured. Now, your Social Security and your 401k is. 401ks are insured by the federal government. For those of you that want more information as to how some of these regulations work, you can look up ERISA, E-R-I-S-A. ERISA is the beginning point of trying to understand some of the rules and regulations for defined benefit plans. Hector Gupta, I'm waiting for the agency running our 401k to allow the purchase of Bitcoin. I'll move a portion of my stash if and when it happens. I don't know, Hector. That, diversification is certainly a part of it. That's for sure. Paul, I practiced pain management for almost 29 years. Arthritis pain is a tough nut to crack. Yeah, I would think so. I would think it's difficult. I don't have any experience in pain management. Paul, get some naproxen-based medicine. Was designed for arthritis, ordinarily over the counter. I use it every day. Gold shots. Price of gold these days cheaper to do a Coke. I have this cold. I apologize. You're right, Van. And I can tell you the gold shots even then weren't cheap. I finally got her off those worthless pieces. That was worthless shit. Hector, remember the three legs of retirement: pension, Social Security, private investments. Defined benefit and pensions are virtually gone. So what to do? Yeah, defined benefit plans. I'll tell you what happened. The absolute beginning of the end of defined benefit plans was IBM. IBM cheated like nuts. So in a defined benefit plan, your employees are categorized two ways. Now, some of this may have changed, but, I spent years putting together our defined benefit plan and administering it. And I was the fiduciary for our defined benefit plan. So I've got a ton of experience in this. All right. Now, I was not the fund manager. We hired an outside fund management, but I was the fiduciary for the plan. But anyways, so what happens is the plans categorize people in two areas. They have rank and file and then highly compensated. And then what happens is there's a formula to make sure, quote unquote, you don't screw over the rank and file. That's what happened with IBM. IBM was making these massive massive pension deposits for their highly compensated. I mean, we're talking about, if you were in the highly compensated employee range, you were getting anywhere between $50,000 and $150,000 a year in pension deposits, whereas the rank and file employees were getting $2,000-$3,000. That was it. So the feds, the employees literally sued IBM. All right. The stockholders went after it, and everything that went together with it. And that was the beginning of putting together the rules and regulations that allow for a fair defined benefit plan. But there's still a lot of loopholes. Tropical Todd says the fourth leg of retirement often not talked about is health. Too many people don't plan for good health, retire very limited what they can. Yeah, without a doubt. I'm a perfect example of that. Van, outside fund management. You go to Epstein Island? No, I never made it to Epstein Island. Never met the guy, don't know the guy, nothing like that. But what happened was over the course, it took me about a year to put our defined benefit plan together. I had several parts that were must-haves. The first one was I needed it to be good for my employees. My employees were the lifeblood of my practice, and I needed to take care of them. I needed the plan to be reasonable. I needed to put away large sums of money. I needed to do a lot of different things. And in putting the plan together, the final part of what happened was I needed to not be responsible for the money. I needed to not be blameable. Okay? And what I mean by that is I didn't want to be the guy that they would complain to and say, that investment only returned 3%. It should have returned at least 8%. See, the way our plan worked, I set every year the return. So some years I set the return at 7%. Some years I set the return at 10%. And if ever there was a shortfall, the company would make that up. So there was a lot to it. Van, you're right. Yep. Hector, the board that runs my defined pension benefit is elected, and every action they take must be published and approved by all retirees. Still does not preclude the system failure. That's got to be pretty. That's got to be pretty tenuous. If it has to be approved by every retiree, I mean, if you've got hundreds or thousands of retirees and one of them objects, doesn't that, I don't know. Mike, would you have gone to Epstein Island if invited? I don't know. You know what? I never even heard of Epstein Island. If someone had invited me to an island in the Bahamas and there was great fishing and it was tropical and everything that goes along with it, sure. Would I have gone to a place where I knew people were being abused? No. Is that a decent enough answer? Ruby, what would be a comfortable retirement budget in the U.S.? Say 3 categories: basic, comfortable, and luxury retirement, overseas holidays annually. Wow, Ruby. So a budget retirement. All right, I would want, at least for basics, all right, I'd want to be able to cover my health care and say $80,000 a year minimum. All right, comfortable. I would want to be up in the 120, 150 range. And then luxury, I'd want to be in the 190 to 250 range. And, well, 190 plus. But that's, that annually. Hector says approved by the majority. Okay. Paul says, our practice, which I was president, matched 401k 100%. We had a few employees that didn't contribute. Yeah. So we had our defined benefit plan and we had a 401k. In the 401k, we matched at 50%, but in the defined benefit plan, that didn't cost the employees at all. There was no, that money was a gift. So they didn't pay for that. But for those people that were in the defined benefit plan and the 401k, and they deposited and we matched 10%, they put away a good amount of money. Ruby, the rule of thumb is you need 80% of your working income. There you go. Hector says there are less than 70,000 retirees in the agency I retired from. Van says Epstein Island is like Studio 54. When you hear about it, it's done, gone. I have been to Studio 54. I have been to the Limelight, all right, which is another very similar. When I was in college, there was an airline that flew from Charlotte, North Carolina to Newark. It was called People Express. They would get, everybody got an apple, a little brown bag with an apple. That was your snack. All right. We could fly, and we did it often. We would fly to Newark. We would catch the train to Grand Central Station in New York. We'd go into the restroom, change clothes, wash our armpits, all right, put on new clothes, put the rest of our stuff in I think it was 75 cents to rent a locker, party our butts off and drink all weekend, then get back on the people, and we could do round trip tickets. I think if I remember correctly, it was either $49 or $59. Van says, I'd go to 54, but not the island. This must be Vietnam Steve. Ian Stewart. I don't know Ian, but thank you for dropping in. I don't know who Vietnam Steve is. Mike, have you been to Hooters as well? I've been to many Hooters. Many. I love the wings at Hooters and the fried grouper sandwich. Absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with Hooters. I've been to the Hooters in over at Nana Plaza in Bangkok also. Yes. College life, huh? Yeah, that's when I was in undergraduate school. Once I got through with undergraduate school, I didn't have time for that. Ruby Tuesday. Okay, Ian. So what else is going on? We're almost an hour and a half in. Anybody have any other topics that they would like to discuss? Anything else? I'll wait for a couple minutes, and if not, we'll call it into it. Hell, he owned a Hooters. No, I never owned a Hooters, Van. I never owned a Hooters. So it's the food that attracts you to Hooters. Yeah, it's you know what? If you want to see, all right, Ruby, excuse my French, okay? If you are so interested in the female anatomy and protrusions, why go to Hooters? Why not just go to a topless bar? I don't see I don't see the benefit. Don't get me wrong. Hooters was, great. I mean, the eye candy was very enjoyable, I guess is the best word for it. But they had great. My daughter used to beg every now and then to go to Hooters and get wings. All right? Because they have gigantic wings and they're a great deal. And quite honestly, they're right down the street from a great big mall that my daughter liked. So Hooters in Asia is called stuffed shirts. Okay. Never heard of that, Michael, but it doesn't surprise me you'd come up with that. Not at all. But their fried grouper sandwich and their wings were great. And as a business model, it was always interesting to see. I mean, they, slide this, that, for a non-mechanized, at the time that we went, things were not on a point of sale, a POS system. They would have these little clips and they would slide them on a wire, and that's what would run to the kitchen, and then the kitchen would slide them back out saying the order's ready. Some topless bars in Dallas had great lunch buffets. Yes, the Gentleman's Club in Dallas, they had a steak sandwich, if I'm not mistaken, lunch. Let's see, a couple of others. Dallas Total Nude. Yeah. But doesn't that in Dallas Total Nude, isn't that only in juice bar? There's no alcohol. That's the way it is in Arizona. There's no alcohol in the nude bars. Is Dallas the same way? I can't remember. Where I am, Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop are better wings than Hooters, too near me. Yeah, but they weren't around. All right, Buffalo Wild Wings was not around when I was in college, and Wingstop was not around. Or even when I was younger, in my 30s, neither one of those was around. I'm not a big fan of Buffalo Wild Wings, but Wingstop is pretty good. Paul says, I have two nieces that are beautiful blondes. When they were in college, they worked at Hooters and made $220 to $500 a night. Yeah, absolutely. Tilted kilt. Oh, my God. I haven't seen, there is a tilted kilt, or there used to be a tilted kilt in Phoenix. Been to it once, and that was it. Man, the ranch. Total night. Okay, so in Arizona, you can't even BYOB. It's soda, juice, water only. Sunset Travel says Hooters in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia was good. Good. There you go. Total nudes in Dallas, no alcohol. Yeah, I guess you could BYOB though, Van says. Ruby, I'll be looking for home and contents insurance provider in Angeles City. Would you know any company around? We use McGuire, but there's been some issues recently, Ruby. I wouldn't suggest them. But McGuire up on Fields Ave is who we have used, but we may be looking at a difference. We certainly might. So, Tilted Kilt, man, I've only been once. That was a pretty neat place. It was interesting, that's for sure. Okay. 1 hour, 29 minutes. That is it for today. I've got stuff I've got to work on. I'm going to be doing a test live stream late this afternoon. And so if you spend a few minutes, drop by, say hello. I want to test a couple of options. I'll be live streaming from my new multi-camera mobile system. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Because I want that set prior to going to Tequila Weef with it tomorrow. Richie says, crazy enough, I've never been to a Hooters. Oh, come on, Richie. Wow. I'll be honest with you, Richie. I was not impressed with the Hooters at Nana Plaza in Thailand. So they are boys and all setups. Got my Asawa thrown out on her birthday. All right. Later, Stacy, BYOB. See y'all later. Okay. Everyone, take care. Thank you so much. You know what? What more can I say? Thank you. Have a great, safe day.